According to Stephen Johnson, water is the lifeblood of our bodies, our economy, our nation, and our well-being. The quote underscores the significance of water as one of the world's most valuable resources. It is a necessity of life for both plants and animals. It is central to national development as it has important linkages to health, education, agriculture, rural development, and indeed the environment. It also has direct and rapid impact on poverty eradication, cost of industrial production, and employment generation. Little wonder the Federal Ministry of Water Resources was created with the mandate of providing sustainable access to safe and sufficient water to meet the cultural and socio-economic needs of all Nigerians, in a way that will enhance public health while maintaining the integrity of freshwater ecosystem of the nation. This also underscores the high priority that the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration accords to the provision of adequate water supply and sanitation in an affordable and sustainable manner for the improvement of the living standards of the people.
Water supply and sanitation has a multi-level impact on all other sectors in the human development value chain and ultimately on the larger paradigm of poverty and productivity. And so by directly impacting the key indicators in the health, education, agriculture, food security and environment sectors, water supply has a profound impact on the quality of life indicators and is a major determinant of productivity and poverty. It therefore simply makes sense for government to ensure that the water sector is and remains a primary focus of policy and action. And this explains why the President, from the inception of this administration, has demonstrated serious commitment to the development of the water sector by first of all preserving the Ministry of Water Resources as a distinct entity. The government has prioritized water and sanitation infrastructure in our infrastructure development objectives. Thirdly, both our economic recovery and growth plan and our strategies for mainstreaming the sustainable development goals clearly prioritize water and sanitation.
According to World Health Organization, waterborne diseases account for an estimated 3.6% of the total disability burden, with about 1.5 million human deaths annually. It also estimates that 85% of that burden, or 842,000 deaths per year, are attributable to a lack of safe drinking water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. This statistics is quite disturbing and can be connected to Nigeria, where lack of access to safe water is causative of waterborne diseases, including cholera, dysentery, typhoid fever, and polio, among others. To address this problem of water supply, the present government since 2015 embarked upon programs and projects to provide accelerated access to safe drinking to rural areas. These projects include communities and organizations' requests, intervention in the Northeast and internally displaced people. Though the country's water sector has been going through challenges which have resulted to inadequate provision of potable water to Nigerians, since the inception of this administration, together with President Muhammadu Buhari's agenda towards the completion of ongoing and abandoned projects by previous administrations, significant progress has been recorded towards boosting the water sector.
We have in the last 3 years been able to make the following achievements within the available resources at our disposal. We have repositioned the ministry for enhanced service delivery by undertaking an organization and manpower review. This enabled us to properly deploy some of our technical personnel and restructure some key departments to give the ministry a more technical, professional character. Thus far, we have completed and commissioned the following projects: Central Ogbia Regional Water Supply Project in Bayelsa State, Northern Asian Regional Water Supply Project in Edo State, rehabilitation of Wajirani Dam water supply project in Edo State, Sadke water supply project in Katsina State, Dozi water supply project in Katsina State, Mashi water supply project also in Katsina State, Takum water supply project in Taraba State, Sadke irrigation project in Katsina State, and rehabilitation of Kagarko Dam in Jaji, Kaduna State.
That is not all, as there are other projects awaiting commissioning.
Ashambila Dam, Taraba State. Of course, the dam itself and the hydropower plant have been completed. What we are waiting is the transmission line and the two other components of water supply and irrigation. But essentially, the main feature, which is the dam, is 100% completed. Ogashipu Dam in Delta State, Shagari Irrigation Project, Shagari Sokoto State, Galma Dam in Kaduna State. The dam is completed. We have a 500-hectare project, irrigation project component that is going on now. The Kerimo Water Supply Project in Bayelsa State, Mango Water Supply Project in Plateau State, and the water supply at the Federal University of Agriculture in Benue State.
To further boost water supply, the minister rails out more projects that will be completed between 2018 and 2020.
Zobe Water Supply Project in Katsina, Ivo Water Project in Enugu State, Fuga Water Works Rehabilitation in Edo State, Doku Regional Water Supply in Gombe State, Elisha Water Supply Project in Osun State, Azori Water Supply Project in Jigawa State, Ahmadu Bello University Water Supply Project in Kaduna State. In addition, we have dam and irrigation projects also slated for completion by 2020, including Middle Ogun Irrigation Project in Oyo State, Middle Rima Valley Irrigation Project in Sokoto State, Gari Irrigation Project from Kano and Jigawa State, Montagora Auna Dam Project in Niger State, Mawai Irrigation Project in Kano State, Adeshonga Irrigation Project in Kwara State, Adani Rice Project in Anambra State, the Kuku Dam Project in Kogi, Lower Anambra Irrigation Project in Anambra State, Ileife Dam Project in Osun State, Zoro Polda Irrigation Project in Kebbi State, Otupo Multipurpose Dam Project in Benue State, and Ogbesi Dam in Ekiti State. We are committed to completing all ongoing viable projects in the ministry to derive optimal benefits from government investments. It is instructive to note that since the inception of this administration, my ministry has initiated only 2 new major projects. This underscores our emphasis on completion of the numerous ongoing and abandoned projects inherited.
Considering the huge water infrastructure deficit that requires substantial funding to meet the demands of the growing population, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources has developed a public-private partnership framework and prepared outline business case on some key water projects with a view to leveraging and financing from the private sector and the development partners. This has also led to the signing of various memoranda of understanding with some state governments to further help in providing portable drinking water to the people. For instance, the federal government has taken over the completion of the Ferin Ruwa Dam project in Nasarawa State. The project, which was conceptualized in 2001 with the intention of providing about 20 megawatts of power to Nasarawa State, but due to paucity of funds, the project could not be completed. However, the dam was listed as Federal Ministry of Water Resources project and has been captured in the 2018 budget appropriation.
This event is yet another milestone in President Buhari's administration, which has been promoting partnership and collaboration between the federal government and state governments towards repositioning our water sector and national development efforts. After a technical survey of the project, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources observed that the project could be converted to a multipurpose project as it has potentials for water supply and irrigation development, apart from hydropower, for which was initially conceived. It was therefore concluded that the project could be a vehicle to achieve multipurpose goals of rural development, poverty eradication, and gender mainstreaming in pursuance of the Sustainable Development Goals. The strategic importance of the project for rural development and poverty eradication, as well as other inherent potentials, compelled my ministry to seek approval of Mr. President to take over the project and complete it for the benefit of the people.
Let me first and foremost express our profound appreciation to His Excellency Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for graciously consenting the taking over of the independent hydropower project located in Fairwa, in Wamba local government area of Nasarawa State. This memorandum of understanding between the federal government and Nasarawa State is therefore to support the federal government primarily to revive the project via a more robust appraisal, review, and financing of the projects towards its completion, so as to serve the immediate community, Nasarawa State, and Nigeria at large.
Nasarawa State is not the only state, as Katsina and Kano states share their success story.
This project, which started since 1992, and it has suffered a lot of hiccups, but Alhamdulillah, since we came Zoom power, we have been liaising with him, and this is the fruition of what we are seeing here today. We thank God very much for making it possible, and also thank the Honorable Minister Moses and the federal government for taking the water supply to Katsina very seriously. As we have heard, they are going to spend about 12.5 billion of federal resources into this project. We thank them very much, and we hope the funding will be consistent, and we will one day, very soon, come to commission this project.
This is indeed a historic day for the people of Kano State in the area of water supply and sanitation. I'm glad that today signing the partnership agreement between Kano State and the federal government meant for the increasing access to improved water supply and sanitation by our teeming rural population. The total volume of the partnership is in the region of 12.7 billion naira, which is a big amount of money. This clearly shows concern in the President of the Federal Government of Nigeria, Muhammad Buhari, help for our rural common people who largely depend on hand pumps and motorized bores.
Let me reiterate that provision of potable water supply, adequate sanitation and hygiene are primarily the responsibilities of state and local governments. However, these are not being given the required attention, judging from the high prevalence of waterborne diseases that are being reported in different parts of the country. We cannot and will not continue to allow these preventable occurrences to decimate our population.
Irrigation has assumed prominence throughout the world as the only way by which food production may be augmented for the ever-increasing population of mankind. In line with the concerted efforts of the federal government towards achieving sustainable agricultural production all year round, significant achievements have been made in the river basins and agricultural sectors in the last 3 years of this administration.
Under the Buhari administration, the Lake Chad environmental challenges have been brought to the attention of the international community as a major cause of the security crisis in northeastern Nigeria. The ministry has championed the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Lake Chad Basin Commission and and a Chinese company that is presently undertaking additional feasibility study on the proposed interbasin water transfer project from the Congo Basin into Lake Chad. Another MOU was recently signed between the Lake Chad Basin Commission and the Italian government that has committed 1.5 million euro towards finalizing the feasibility studies on the proposed interbasin water transfer project.
What we saw in Mina was quite wonderful. We saw an integrated farm within the complex of the authority. Very small land, but on that land we have over 400 million naira invested. And I saw the value of the investment. Everything was top class. Within that same vicinity, we saw a dam being constructed just about 100 meters away. And we saw a project that our youths can key into. You will come there, you will learn every single aspect of agriculture. When you are so trained, you will then be empowered to go and engage in agriculture on one of the hectares, one of the properties, assets of the river basin. They will allocate to you, from what the professor told me, the MD, you allocate to you an hectare that will become yours. You'll be empowered. If it is a fishery you want to do, you will be given a pond. If it is piggery farming you want to do, you'll be empowered in that way. I saw for the first time the use of our assets for the benefit of our youth.
As a way to further addressing the deficiencies in the water sector, the National Water Resources Bill was presented to the National Assembly for passage into law. The passage of the bill will create a stable and attractive environment for investors and development partners. Also, when passed into law, it will be one of the major achievements of the current administration, as it will provide the much required legal and regulatory framework for the water sector to optimally contribute to national development. The bill has been passed by the House of Representatives and is presently before the Senate. Safe water is a basic commodity necessary for the survival of humanity. But a recent water supply, sanitation and hygiene WASH diagnostic report paints a sorry state of Nigeria's water supply and sanitation situation. The content of the report calls for urgent action by all tiers of government, the support of development partners and the private sectors if Nigeria is to meet the Sustainable Development Goals on water and sanitation. Consequently, on the 8th of November 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari launched the National Action Plan for Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene, WASH, and also declared a state of emergency on Nigeria's WASH sector. The National WASH Action Plan has the primary objective of ensuring that everyone living in Nigeria has access to sustainable and safely managed WASH services by 2030 in compliance with the Sustainable Development Goals for water and sanitation. Also, the action plan presents a new federal and state partnership for WASH sector development, one in which the states maintain their full sector development prerogative while benefiting from an empowering federal arrangement for effective guidance and support of their efforts.
The Sustainable Development Goals targets 6.1 and 6.2 for water supply, sanitation and hygiene are even more demanding as they require water supply, sanitation and hygiene services to be provided in adequate quantity and quality on premises at affordable prices. This cannot be achieved if we continue with a business as usual approach. It is on this premise that I fully endorse the decision taken at the meeting of the Federal Executive Council in April this year to declare a state of emergency on our water supply, sanitation, and hygiene sector. I call on all state governments to complement this effort by according the sector similar recognition to enable us work together to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals targets for water supply, sanitation, and hygiene by 2030. Henceforth, federal government support to state governments will be based on their commitment to implement the national water supply, sanitation, and action plan in their respective states, and to end open defecation by 2025.
The National Wash Action Plan has the primary objective of ensuring that everyone living in Nigeria has access to sustainable and safely managed wash services by 2030 in compliance with the Sustainable Development Goals for water, that's goal 6.1, and sanitation, which is goal 6.2. The action plan comprises 5 components: governance, sustainability, sanitation, funding and financing, as well as monitoring and evaluation.
The representative of the Development Partners Group also said,
Your Excellency, a commitment from your administration to invest in water and sanitation today can make all the difference. We are heartily encouraged to see a renewed federal-state partnership for policymaking, financing, and oversight, by which the federal government can better guide, support, and incentivize sector development by states, as is proposed by the Nigeria Action Plan. And this is a collective responsibility. So together, we can ensure that the right to clean water and sanitation services is high on the political agenda and a priority for all Nigerians and partners. And together, we can make sure that every woman, man, and child in Nigeria has access to the essential services they need to live long and healthy lives.
According to United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, for Nigeria to attain the global goal of providing access to safe water for every citizen by 2030, it needs to make water together with sanitation and hygiene a national priority. But remember, the federal government can't be everywhere. So the need for states and local governments to prioritize the water and sanitation sector becomes inevitable.
We've come to realize that to a large extent, states are finding it difficult to invest, or some states don't seem to prioritize water, and that's what we're trying to bring back to limelight. And it also falls within the purview of our roadmap, because we've said that our main focus will be to complete ongoing projects that we inherited, rather than embarking on new ones. We're not saying we're not going to do new projects. If they're strategic and there's a need for them, we'll do them. But our emphasis will be more on the ongoing projects, because so much has been invested and they're just hanging there. If we don't finish them for the benefit of the people, then it's a waste of money.
With the launch of the National Action Plan for Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene, WASH, and the declaration of state of emergency on Nigeria's WASH sector, it has ushered in a new direction in improving the water supply, sanitation and hygiene delivery nationwide. What does the future hold for Nigerians?
It is my hope that the formal declaration of a state of emergency by Mr. President today will stimulate high political commitment to wash issues at both federal and state levels.
I wish to express my profound gratitude to all our development partners and countries that have been supporting our water sector, and to call for their continual support that will enable us to achieve our national aspirations.
As we look ahead for better days in the water sector, And as the Federal Ministry of Water Resources continues to work tirelessly to scale up access to water and sanitation, all hands must be on deck towards providing solutions to the lingering crisis in the sector, which could lead to the increase of water supply and improve sanitation in order for the country to meet up with the Sustainable Development Goals.